with his work. And a few hours before he was about to leave, he noticed that one of the shirts that he wanted to bring with him, that one of the buttons had fallen off. So my husband was rushing around and he said, could you please, he said, ask me if I could please sew on the button for him. And I need to explain that over the year, I've had like sort of an evolving relationship with all things domestic. I grew up as the daughter of a mother who's a psychiatrist, and the only grandparent I knew growing up was my grandmother, who was a university professor. So when I became a wife and then a mother, for me to do anything domestic, like to cook or to clean or to do anything in the house, was really, really, really a struggle. Incredibly, incredibly difficult for me. So thank God, as the years have gone, as the years have passed, it's become a lot more easy for me. Now I really, really don't mind cooking and cleaning and changing diapers and all the domestic things that I have to do as a stay-home mother. But there's one last holdout, one last battlefield for me in the domestic front, and that is sewing. I cannot sew. Even if, let's say, there's like a nickel-sized hole in my daughter's tights, I would rather send it out to a seamstress than to just take the 30 seconds it will take to sew up that hole. It's so difficult for me. So when my husband asked me if I would sew on the button, my gut reaction was, no way. Well then if you wanted someone to sew on the button, then take a needle and sew it yourself. But of course I didn't say that. And now my husband's running around and he's working very, very hard, and that I really should sew on the button for him. So I said, okay, I'll sew on the button. So it took me a few hours. I sort of did like other things first. But when I had a little bit of a free time after lunch, I took the shirt and I took my sewing kit and I threaded the needle and I sewed on the button. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And I saw, after I was done, I saw it was still a bit wiggly. So I sewed it again, through the holes again and again and again and again. So basically if a hurricane came, it wouldn't get off this button. Like nothing was going to get off this button. So I was proud of myself. I was proud that I did it. I didn't want to do it, and I did it. I did something nice for my husband, and I hung up the shirt. But when I hung it up, there was a problem. I saw that all the other buttons were in a straight line, and my button, it was like totally like on third base. It was like out in the middle of nowhere. So I looked at it, I thought, oh no, this isn't so good. But who cares? I sewed on the button, at least it has a button on it. And I even buttoned the shirt, and I saw that when the shirt was buttoned, like really, really, you couldn't tell. You really, really couldn't tell. So I left it that way, and I went and I did something else. But then I realized, I was thinking about, I'm not a perfectionist. Like really, really, it wouldn't bother me if my button on my shirt was off center. But my husband is a bit more of a perfectionist, and I knew that if the button was like that, my husband would spend the 2 weeks he was spending in America thinking about that button, and it would bother him. So, what did I do? I went back, and I cut off the button, and I sewed it on again. So I'm telling you this incredibly boring story because right now we're in the month of Kislev. And Kislev, we all know, it's a supernatural month. It's a month of miracles. But our sages teach us that miracles just don't spontaneously happen in Kislev. That in this month, if we want God to break nature for us, if we want God to do the supernatural for us, then we, first of all, have to be supernatural, meaning we have to overcome our nature. If we have a nature to be impatient, to be stingy, to be angry, then this month we're going to work on that. We're going to work on those traits in ourselves to become better people. That we will see true miracles. And I bless everyone with an amazing week.